A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all as renewed with the coffee break. May we have the AV, please?
Visualize this, a full board of surgeries back to back to back. You need to make a change, and with a touch of your finger, everything falls into place. Each surgery starts on time, with newly sterilized instruments allocated and delivered seamlessly. Patients arrive, and their medical history is at your fingertips. With a touch, you add imagery and surgical notes from the OR. Throughout the day, you have a clear picture of each patient's journey. Your healthcare facility is in harmony. It's a beautiful sight, isn't it? Getinge Digital Health Solutions, a touch of clarity.
So all along, we've been talking about smart hospitals doing it the smarter way. We've heard several definitions of being smart in terms of being in the clinical practice or the hospital industry. Let us have one more look at what exactly being smart means. By being smart, what we are going to do just now is to take it to the next level, using digitization and digital technology for an advantage for both the patients as well as for the internal stakeholders, that is the staff, and for all of us sitting here in this room today. So we've heard enough about what exactly is digitization and how the healthcare is connected. I have here a very popular quote from one of our cardiac surgeons in the fraternity who said that just replacing a typewriter with a computer is not digitization. What do we actually mean here? Just changing the infrastructure of a center or just bringing in more and more computers, losing the man touch is not what digitization is aimed at. What exactly are we looking at when we say digitization? So what we're saying is it encompasses the transformation of business, enterprise, and government using technology to make experiences better, communication effective, and work simpler. I think the last line is most important for all of us. All of us sitting here in this room are aiming for the same thing, that to make the entire experience simpler and enhance efficiencies at the hospital. A good digital transformation or a smart hospital, I would say, should aim at doing all of these, which is to remove unnecessary administration, to enhance resource utilization, and to increase operational efficiency. Oh, very fancy words, we all know this, we all have read this, are also trying to implement it in different ways. Multiple departments at the hospital. Where do we begin? Which hospital, which department do we take? What function do we take in order to improve efficiencies? At Getinge, we have a range of solutions that can help you do all of these for all the departments that we've mentioned here, right from operating rooms to critical care units. Everything can be digitized. For the sake of today's discussion, what we present to you is a very interesting solution that focuses on sterile supplies. Sterile supplies are often neglected topic at the hospital, but extremely important. All our surgical instruments, our sets, our reusable consumables, everything that goes into reprocessing falls under this interesting bracket of sterile consumables. What happens is, today we have more and more robots working in the ORs, we have more and more sophisticated equipment coming in, which means all our instruments and the entire inventory is revamped. Today we have instruments that are as expensive as an equipment, which needs to be taken care of from both operating expense point of view and also the capital expense of buying them again and again. What the solution focuses on is improving this entire ecosystem of mapping the sterile resources. What also happens is we are seeing more and more hospitals going in for accreditation. Not just NABH, but we are also aiming at JCI and other international accreditations. accreditations. Not just reprocessing, but keeping their records, maintaining the quality parameters, the KPIs, and proving them becomes equally important. What happens with manual records is at times you do the process, but it's not documented as well. So that is why it becomes all the more important to have all these processes documented from quality point of view. What it leads to in a summary is to look at the entire ecosystem of tracking these consumables, replicating the whole process digitally. We are not aiming at changing what you do, but just converting it into a digital platform so that it becomes easier for your staff to handle and easier for you as administrators to monitor, map, and track, and to keep track of all your costs associated with these. What we've seen in the current scenario in India across the CSSDs is a bunch of challenges that are there. We've kept them into three interesting buckets. First is our curious case of missing instruments. I think all of us need one version of Sherlock Holmes in our hospitals to track these missing instruments. Every now and then something is, I would say, gayab. Something is found in the laundry basket. Something is taken away from the hospital, call it theft, pilferage, accident, whatever. But this keeps happening even in the biggest of the hospitals. And the cost towards replacing these instruments goes unmapped. At the end of the year, we are spending a lot of money replacing all these instruments again and again. Even the small value instruments, if you keep buying them again and again, it eventually leads up to a lot of cost. The second is the hide and seek of manual record keeping. Imagine a situation where you got to give a report on utilization of a particular set or utilization of your sterilizer. I think it would take about 3-4 days for all our managers to dig out the files, the records, and prepare a nice report for the management. And even then, a lot of it would be questioned because we don't have the data on the computer or the system is not doing the reporting for us. It is still humans that are mapping all the reports after an effort of week-long data mapping. Third is, where is my money? I think all of us sitting here would define smart hospitals also as hospitals who are aiming at saving cost, who are looking at making more and more profit. Even for the non-profitable organizations, the more money you save, the more it goes back towards patient care. So every penny lost it needs to be saved. So here we are talking about where is my money. These are the three interesting challenges that we've seen across several hospitals. Any quick feedback on any of these challenges? Do we see them or are they not relevant? So indeed, they are all relevant to our current system. Let us look at a smarter way of trying to address all these challenges. These may not be foolproof, but it's a different perspective on how these could be handled digitally instead of doing them manually right now. So what I would do is I'll place some videos that show you how these are done digitally, and then maybe we discuss about any feedback on these videos. So the curious case of missing instruments. Let me play the video.
Minimizing cancellations and delays is essential if we want to complete surgeries as planned and ensure both patient safety and the optimized utilization of operating rooms.
We always know the exact location of each instrument, so we're spending less time searching for trays and completing administrative tasks.
So this is how a lot of hospitals across borders are trying to map this process digitally. By having most of their supplies tracked and traced, we can use different marking technologies to do this, right from laser etching to simple stickers, barcodes that can be scanned using basic scanners which are there at the hospital at multiple stations. So you know at all points in time where your inventory is lying. This can be done at the entry of the CSSD, at the time of dispatch, at the entry of the OR, and also at the time of usage on patient. The next challenge that we spoke about was on record keeping. We have some interesting interview from one of the hospitals that's been using TDoc, and they would share their experience here. Allow me to play the video.
Local hospitals have been using advanced technology to help their staff be more productive. Nadia Jansen Hassan tells us how some of these changes have helped workers young and old in their daily tasks.
A real-time system to track the processing of surgical instruments. That's how hospitals nowadays are ramping up efficiency. Singapore General Hospital is one of them. It has saved almost 2,000 manpower hours per month since it implemented the system in 2010. It works by scanning the barcodes of each set of instruments at regular intervals, for example after surgery or after they've been cleaned. A screen reflects exactly what stage the equipment is at, so staff are aware at all times.
After rounds of cleaning, the surgical tools are put in a set like this, and after that they're sent for sterilization. Over 500 of these instrument sets are delivered to operating theatres on a daily basis.
The system also tracks which set has been used by whom by scanning the patient's identification right before surgery.
So another interesting thing from this experience is, this was one of the hospitals where about 60% of their staff was in the old age category. So they had 60% people above 55 years of age. They were very concerned whether technology would really be helpful. In our Indian setup, we also have people not in that age group, but also they don't come from a very good educational background. Not all of them may know how to use computers. So if people of this age group can adapt so quickly, I'm sure our Indian workforce is also as agile to adapt it very fast. Lastly,
we also have the information we need to measure our performance.
With TDoc, we have full cost control of our stocks, purchasing, and sterile production. And we have the right insights and overviews to make informed decisions.
TDoc is flexible, so it fits our specific workflow and supports automation as well as integration with the hospital IT infrastructure.
With TDoc, we can continuously add functionality in hospitals to our multi-site setup, which enables us to share data and resources, improve our processes, and increase quality. And with comprehensive local support available day or night, our team is always prepared to provide the best possible care for patients.
so no need of digging into paper records to show a certain report. All these dashboards are real time, available with different departments, available with different administrative heads as per their capacity, and they can be looked at very easily, right from equipment utilization to utilization of every set, every instrument, how many times it has been recycled. Also, the single-use consumables that we often multiple use in India, those also can be mapped, and one can also put a limit on the usage of all these consumables, that they need to be reprocessed, say only 50 times or 10 times or 100 times. And all this is done digitally through the software itself. So even if you have to show records at the time of accreditation audits, these are very, very easily available. No digging into files and losing your mind over preparing reports. So this is the beautiful landscape that we intended to have at every hospital in India, where the patient experience, the resource utilization, and the staff satisfaction, everything gets addressed by one comprehensive solution, which is also scalable. So no need to put all your money at once. Take it step by step by your requirement. Just adapt smaller workflows and get going with it. What I would like to end with today is two things. One is we have a very popular quote from Bill Gates here, which is investing in tomorrow's technology today is more critical than ever. I think all of us here agree that Indian healthcare system is standing at a juncture today where the next step or the next leap is towards being more digital and towards being more smart. So this is one of the ways which we can adapt to be more smart, more efficient for both our patients, our caregivers, and for the smallest of our staff. We would like to take this opportunity to invite each one of you at our experience center here in Andheri, where we showcase this entire range, not just TDoc, but also other products from the digital health solution gamut. Also, we have a miniature version of our exhibit at the stall outside. Please do pay a visit. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, I would request Riva Singh, Group Editor, ITP Media India, to please come here on stage for felicitation. A huge round of applause for them, everyone. Thank you.